Alright, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Mopar Joe. Today we are saving ourselves some time and really aligning our panel gaps on Darren Blake's 68 Barracuda hard top. If you'll remember, I've got the fenders and doors basically on their second coat of primer with most of the rough body work done. Same thing with the quarters, top, and trunk lid. Engine bay's shot, my door jambs are shot, door edges are shot, everything's shot. But I got to do some good alignment here, because the better this aligns, the less work I have to do later while I'm blocking. And I just went ahead and did a quick hang up here. I blocked around a little bit back on this door edge. I got to get some movement going here. Let me show you where I started at. So, getting the door aligned to the quarter, and I am mostly worried about from about this area, if I can pull out, from there to here, just because that's the main body of the car. If this down here needs something, I can adjust to play with it later, but it's looking really good. Like, hopefully you can see how great that looks. Right now, there's no daylight, but as we come up, a little bit of daylight here, and the daylight starts to grow and grow more. And I mean, hopefully you can clearly tell that corner needs to come out just a little bit. So when that corner comes out, it will fix my body line from about right there to here. So I'll get that adjustment going on the door hinge itself. I did have to move the striker out just barely. And the gaps were not bad on this car when I first pulled it apart. So kind of the way I did that, I left one hinge on the body and the other hinge on the door when I did my door edges, and kind of marked my door edge. And I had to pull that other hinge off the door to actually paint it correctly, painted my hinges, put the hinge back on. So now I'm pretty close. And I've got my spacers in for this fender. I'm really pleased with this fender top right now. Hopefully you can see that. There's a little bit of, there'll be light through here because this is concaved. That's nice and straight. So the gap itself is just about the perfect width of the stick. See there? So I've got that bolted down. I just got one bolt loosely in here and a couple going through. So I got to go back to that quarter edge, get it perfect. But I wanted to realign here. Since I know my fender's perfect, I can bring this up. When this comes up, you never know what's going to happen back there. So I'll attack this again right now. See how it goes. My spacing at the bottom is really pretty nice as well. Got a little daylight there, and it's more daylight as you go down. But I may come out just a little bit more with the shim here. I'm less worried about that, and I'm kind of worried about this top. So you can't attack everything at once. You'll go crazy. But it's just a little process, so hopefully I can bring you along for that today. Feeling pretty good about it. I got my door raised, and I had to get in that dash, loosen that top hinge to bring it up. Since then, my fender's moved 20 different times, a bunch of directions, but I'm getting really, really, really close. You see a little bit of gap right there, like the door could come up just barely. I like how my fender is lining up on the cowl panel there. So I don't really want to move it up and down. My spacing there is pretty good. My corner's just a little bit low. But as I go down, it's looking really nice. See how it kind of curves in here. Still curves in. Still curves in. Curving in. I'm getting much closer. So what I'm looking at right now is either the bottom of the fender needs to go in or the door needs to come out just a hair in the front. See, it's pretty consistent all the way down. And then it starts curving in there too. So I'm getting closer. See my rocker? We're curved in there, so everybody in the world walks up and looks right at that. The door alignment here, up and down. We know that's going to be crazy because this curves up that way, that one goes that way. So moving along. Man, we're really close right here. It looks great. I just blocked for 1 second. Looking really, really nice. Curving off a little there. So like the bottom of my door is out in the rear. And the bottom of my door is in just a little bit in the front. So I'll keep playing and we'll be back. I definitely feel like side number 2's got it going my way. My gap on top's really nice. Just about the width of a paint paddle. So that's good. I'm not going to force it in there, scratch my paint up. In the back, it's nice and tight. Pretty well lined up. If anything, I think what I'm going to do is, see my little spot there? I'm probably going to leave it as it is right now. See right there's a beautiful angle. We're going straight to the back, straight to the front. But kind of right through here, you see that little bit of rock. I think I want my door to just barely come out a little. See, it looks nice on bottom. But the top door edge will be seen by more people than the bottom door edge. And what I may can do is just loosen my top 2 bolts. Barely give it a little tweak out. Just almost nothing. And if you see my little red stuff, that's from where I had some red left in my gun last time and just spattered it on for a guide coat this time around. So feel great about that door. It opens and closes so nicely too. There we go. Super solid, good to go. Get this fender hung, and then I can kind of play my game back and forth just to get them really, 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 really close. And we're doing pretty good. I really feel pleased about that line right there. You can see it. If I lay it this way, it's kind of, you can see the concave part of that. Anyway, my door's just a little bit low, so it needs to come up. You can kind of see it clear there. And my gap here is pretty nice. So if I bring that up as we go down, I need to come out with the top just a little bit with the door and maybe barely in with the fender, but it's starting to get into my gap here. So I've got that there. We are perfect right here. And I know I'm kind of chasing my tail on this, but see that little bit on the door side? It's not going to hurt it to come out just barely. Right there, it's really nice. Right there, see how the fender could come out in the middle, in the center. A little bit of rock right there. And kind of same thing here. So I could almost, but surprise, we're back to a little tiny spider. We're back to about perfect here. So I'm getting close enough. I think I can start blocking that side, but this has got to come out just barely and up just barely. I think I can do that just fine. Then I'll see if I need to move my striker out or not. See, it's just a little bit of rock here. See, there could come out some. Just like that. And if that comes out, it might change a little bit of something up here. It's a fun game of ping pong we're playing. Door's just barely lower. I'm okay with that right now. As for this way, the edge of this door is slightly, I know it's hard to see. There you go. It's just slightly high. I mean, like nothing. You can see more there. There we go. See, my bottom can still come out just barely. Uh-oh, not right there. That's perfect. So from here to here is less perfect. Perfect there. I think when I move my striker out just barely, this gap right here is going to be perfect. It's going to bring the front of the door in that much. Almost nothing. Let's try it and see what happens. I'm not sure you can even tell that very super tiny amount that I moved that striker. Less than a 16th. That looks really nice. Door looks a little low there. Door looks a little low there. That's pretty nice. I think I'm gonna leave it just like that. Our corner gap looks really, really good. Or the body line, rather. If we run down, that can be blocked into each other now. Boom, boom. I love it. So before you say anything, I realize that's got to be blacked out also. But most people who are still watching to this point realize I'm trying to get the car bolted together so I can block it. These gaps here, they have to be blocked into each other as well. Here and through here. And that face right there. If you want to be nice, got to hit every crack. So I can block that now, block through here. And I think before painting, I'm probably better off I go ahead and just loosen those, get a nice little gap there, or just remove this totally. I'll see how it goes. It'd be nice to have paint in between. I at least want a nice gap that I can get some in there, but in my mind, I want paint, not just primer. So I'll probably end up removing this, but it'll be blocked into place and should be a real simple, easy removal. And since it's off, I can then go ahead and black out core support, and that'll be nice. But it's starting to look like a car again, so that's pretty exciting. And I was going to grab the hood. I know someone may ask about the hood. It's got a black fiberglass hood that sets down on here and takes 4 pins. There's the original pinhole. I'm not sure what that one was. Maybe just a pinhole that he abandoned or something. So yeah, I want to get it in place before I get all these bolts in. I also have to sandblast those or strip them before the final paint job so that they can get painted when the fenders do. But I'm going to back mask here and do this base clear. So here, there, and the base clear. This top section also be base clear, so I still need to strip off his old paint there, which part of it comes off my fingernail. But let me set the hood on. I can just see how it fits right now. I'm not going to put the pins in, anything like that yet. That should be fairly easy to adjust. It's been on this car before, so it's not a big deal. Got a nice consistent gap all the way around. It's actually larger in the rear, which is good. This is not a pinned, this is not a hinging hood, it's pinned. Mine hinges on my car, and if you'll ever notice, it's kind of jacked up on one side because I'm only using one hinge. And if I had both of them hooked up, the hood would break in half whenever you go to shut it. So I only have the one hinge. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fine. Got plenty in the back here, so I would rather have too much than not enough, because he may want to go to a car show or go somewhere and walk up and lift his hood off and set it back down. Doing that over and over eventually could chip something. And this car's just a driver anyway, so it's gonna be exciting to see it come together. I think I may go ahead and call it for the day. It starts to look more like a car now. and there's plenty more left to do, but I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch you next time. I absolutely can't stand it. Let's check our work. I got my little short Billy sander here, the 888S. And since we already got some guide coat, I feel pretty good about that. See my high metal edge here? Hit metal there, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and sand this whole car, probably next step, and do my 2 coats of high build everywhere. Then I'm going to hit my door gaps in the back. I know I'm going to need some more love back here. That's where some of those big golf ball sized dents were. Door's a little high there, a little low here, a little high here. So we get it all blocked up and primed up and blocked up, but we're on our way. It's gonna be a cool rig.